Dear distinguished guests and participants, I'm delighted to take part in the regional conference, Indigenous Self-Governance, Civic Space, Democracy and Pluralism. And I'm conveying this message in solidarity with the Indigenous peoples, networks and communities in Asia and beyond. Last week, I and several of my colleagues at the Swedish Embassy in Bangkok joined the UN Responsible Business and Human Rights Forum for Asia and the Pacific, organized by our UN partners. We met with several civil society organizations, including AIPP, and listened to Indigenous people's plights and alternative solutions for better protection and promotion of human rights in the region. Presentations and interventions from Indigenous communities during the forum painted a grim picture of the situation on the ground. National justice systems often fail to protect collective rights of Indigenous peoples in many parts of Asia. There are many examples of repressive actions by governments and private sector, where human rights defenders and Indigenous peoples' rights defenders are being harassed and face strategic litigation against public participation. Indigenous people struggles on the ground also face killings of land and environmental rights defenders. In 2020, Global Witness recorded 227 killings of land and environmental rights defenders, of which many members of Indigenous people in Asia. Women defenders, especially in rural and Indigenous areas, are often at the forefront of movements, but due to gender discrimination, they often lack resources, contacts and power to mitigate attacks, which frequently go unreported. Sweden firmly believes that human rights is a prerequisite for sustainable development. Our commitments to democracy, human rights, gender equality and environment is reflected in all of our foreign policy. Against the backdrop of the pandemic and the regression of human rights and democratic values, Sweden stands firm with our development partners to uphold the core principles. Sweden is one of 144 countries endorsing the UN Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. The declaration clearly recognizes the rights of Indigenous people. However, the interventions from Indigenous communities during the Business and Human Rights Forum reaffirmed that there is still so much more to be done. Sweden will continue to build broad partnerships with a wide range of relevant and strategic actors, continue to support civil society organizations in a flexible manner, and explore ways to reach marginalized grassroots organizations. We are proud to be a development partner with AIPP to strengthen the Indigenous peoples movement and solidarity in the region. Today's conference is one of many examples of activities where AIPP has brought together Indigenous leaders and allies from across the region and internationally to strengthen the solidarity, cooperation, and capacities of Indigenous peoples in Asia. Thank you, AIPP and your team, for tirelessly promoting and defending Indigenous peoples' rights, cultures, identities, and sustainable resource management systems. I wish you a fruitful and constructive discussion during this conference and look forward to hearing more about the outcomes of the conference. Thank you very much.